Okay, good morning, girls. We're going to have a presentation of a standard 5. And we are a small group today, but I hope we all participate. So you are a co-host, Carolina, whenever you want, you can start.
It's okay?
Yes.
Yeah. We start now? Ay, Pipi. Yeah. So, good morning, teacher and classmate. Today, with my classmate, Constanza Godoy, we are going to present about the Standard 5. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Standard 5. You are prepared to manage the classroom and create context appropriate to learning environment.
The Standard 5.
The future teacher recognizes the importance of establishing a climate of cordiality, respect, trust, and equality in the classroom and is prepared to create and maintain it. And you can create and maintain a structured work environment that encourages students to focus of learning and thus use class time efficiently.
The teacher is able to maintain a stimulating pedagogical interaction with the students, proposing challenging learning activities to promote their interest in learning and their thinking abilities. Know the particular requirements involved in creating an environment conducive to learn the disciplines you will teach. Well, now you can see some characteristics of the standard. The idea is you can take some keywords from uh, these characteristics to understand the standard better.
So it's mainly to create an atmosphere, a good environment, and use different settings within school to
The
create
use of the time and the space.
To create a space in which children can learn. So this is
It's important to watch this characteristic because then we have an activity for you to complete. So it's important to pay attention and read it.
Okay.
Well,
These are the keywords.
Some general keywords of Standard 5 are good environment, rules, learning and development, good management of the activities, use the space and time, strategies, orientation, and communication and comprehension.
Yes.
well, now we have an activity. The idea is complete the following sentence according to the characteristic of the standard. So if you can read and then you can ask, you can respond, or I don't know, we wanna give you some minutes to read all the sentence and try to identify the missing word.
Okay.
And if someone wants to talk, can say me.
Yes, it's great. This is a great exercise. Remember, we are also analyzing close exercises for the exam. So This is a good, very good exercise. So who would like to start reading?
I can start.
Okay, thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Let's ask questions that encourage students to, I think it's the second, think, analyze, interpret, or evaluate information.
Yeah, it's good. It's super good.
Right.
Someone want to do them too?
Elizabeth has just arrived, so.
Well, I'm going to do it. If this knows how to generate in the classroom and school a good environment.
Yes.
That is very important in these standards. Create a good environment.
Exactly.
Good job.
For learning.
Thank you.
Okay, so 3 promotes the learning and the integral development of the student.
Yeah, very good too.
Yes. That's good.
The number 4 is know how to use different strategies of communication.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's
number
also
5.
very important the communication in this standard because we as a teacher we have to communicate a lot of things to students, so it's important to remind the good communication.
Yes.
And finally, is generates, maintain, and communicate the meaning of a specific rules of school life.
Rules.
Well,
Yes. The
and now-
importance. Okay.
No, go.
Okay. The importance of the standard is the standard is important because talk about how a teacher need to be prepared to create a good environment to learn, also to manage every moment, materials and moments of the class to improve the learning and the development of each student. For other hand, this standard manifests that a teacher need to use strategies to communicate the objectives and activities in a clear way to the students. Without doubt, this standard is very important to use as future teacher to improve from now our competences.
Thanks for your attention and your participation.
Thank you. Yes, this is a very important standard. You're going to really be dealing with it a lot in schools, and also we talked about it last semester, I think. Very good, very well done, girls.
Yeah, it's a very interesting standard because talk about many things important inside of the classroom, but like the time, the communication, the good environment. I think it's a complete standard.
Yes, and the rules. Yes. So whenever you go to institutions, you will see about the rules of the school and the classroom. So it's very comprehensive in the sense it enhances a lot of different elements that makes life at school bearable and possible to carry out. Okay, so we have Veronica and Elizabeth with standard 6. Whenever you're ready, girls.
Yes, I will share the screen.
Okay, Veronica. Oh, Veronica. So your co-host. No, it's Veronica. Okay, it changes.
Thank you.
Wait, Veronica. I need to do this. Okay. Veronica. Yes, here it is. Yes. Now you go.
You can see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So me and Elizabeth Osorio, my classmate, we are going to present the standard 6.
The standard in Spanish es conoce y sabe aplicar métodos de evaluación para observar el progreso de los estudiantes y sabe usar los resultados para retroalimentar el aprendizaje y la práctica pedagógica.
In English, this standard says the teacher knows how to apply evaluation methods to observe the progress of students and knows how to use the results to give feedback for the learning process and pedagogical practice. We want you to pay attention to this part because we also have some keywords that we want you to notice, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it were a maintainer play. Is necessary enter to menti.com and write the following code.
Okay.
6699706.
One moment, please.
Not good. Oh, yes.
Ay, ay.
Mentira.
Miss, is possible that yo comparta pantalla?
Yes. You can share screen. You can be co-host. Yeah. So it's Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yes. Here you are.
Okay.
Yes. Here it is.
This is the question.
Okay. What are the main? Oh, right. Okay. Let me check. All right. I wrote it on here. What is it? Okay.
Very good. Someone else that want to share?
Valentina. Camila. How people coming?
Other keyword of this standard.
The keywords. Camila. Come on, Annie.
Let's continue then. So we have evaluation, student progress, and feedback. Those are very important keywords. There you have more. Evaluation, strategies to evaluate.
Sorry, my internet is a little bit
Don't
slow.
worry.
So.
Progress, very good.
Strategies to
Communication.
evaluate. That's good.
Evaluation is the principal
Yes.
keyword.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what we wanted you to notice, that evaluation was the keyword, the main concept of this standard. So thank you for your participation. Let's continue with the
Okay.
we have one more activity for you to participate with us. So now that you have the keywords, we want you to participate, to open your microphones, to do this crossword. It has 6 main words, keywords of this standard. So the first one is vertical, and the definition says symbol or number used in rating the level of students' achievement. What do you think it is? It's a symbol or a number that you use in a test, for example, or an activity. Then you have some clues. It starts with M, finish with S.
The means, but no, it's not how you.
Right?
But no. How do you evaluate?
It has, yes, when you evaluate, you also have to.
Another country use this symbol or number more or more symbol mathematics plus.
It's a qualification.
Yes.
What is it?
Nothing.
Math? No.
Yes.
Math?
Marks.
Mark. It's a British for grade.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The second definition and use a keyword of this standard is horizontal. This
Formative. Yeah.
yes, the definition is respond to help students improve after the analysis of their project or activity. What is
the vertical is formative, but the horizontal is not.
Yes, very good. I will read anyways the definition. This, oh, I can see it very well. There are 3 types of evaluation: diagnostic, summative, and formative. Very good, Constance.
No, Carolina. Oh no.
Oh, Carolina.
Formative. Yes, of course. And it's the horizontal response to help students.
The 4 keyword is the vertical, and the definition is strategies for evaluating the success of the program or project. The letter is the first.
Method.
Okay, very good, Constanza.
Number 5 also is vertical. It says it is students' improvement in their learning. You also give this word as a keyword. The number 5.
Is promotes.
No.
Progress.
No.
Very good.
Yes, very good. And the final is the horizontal, and the definition is good and several changes for students to learn and demonstrate what they know. What do you think? What worries?
When you give chances for students to learn.
Opportunity.
Very good.
Okay, wonderful.
Good.
This is a great.
The old words or keyword that they use in crossword as mark, feedback, formative, method, progress, and opportunities.
Very good. So before finishing, we want you to know that as you noticed, the keyword of this of this standard is evaluation. It is very important because um, it gives us like clues, very important clues for us to know how to evaluate our students, always being innovating in strategies, methods, I mean, and it tells us that we have to give our students opportunities for them to show what they know and what they have learned. So this is our presentation.
Excellent.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for your attention and for your participation.
Thank you, girls. It was great. And yes, and this is always in the making and in constant revision. So we were in a presentation with Professor Daniel and Professor Karen the other day, just explaining how this is being again talked about in schools. So this is a standard that you're going to work with in your whole career. And we need 4 more groups or pairs to volunteer to do the other 4 standards in the rest of the classes. I will let you think of that. So we need the standard 7, 8, 9, 10. Just it can be something short, or just not to leave them not to leave the standards aside, and to have an opportunity to have a short discussion. So I was going to ask for volunteers. Yes, it is here. We need pairs to volunteer to present. So I will leave you thinking until the end of the class. And November the 30th, we have the last class. So we will have two standards next week and the other 2 standards the last week. And that will be it. Okay, so those that want to participate, practice more speaking, you let me know by the end. So remember that the oral exposition is coming soon. We have rescheduled it. I have read some summaries. I read the one by Fernanda and Barbara. They are not here today. I was going to ask them to share a little bit of what they read. And also Valentina Bravo. I do not know whether Valentina, are you here or is the other Valentina? I'm not sure.
Valentina Bravo has bad internet connection, so it's difficult to her to connect. But I don't know.
Bravo.
Yeah, I don't know if she is here, but she has problems.
Connection. Okay. No, it's Valentina Salinas then. So they have already written. It's very short, really. The presentation. It's a short summary. It shouldn't be so extensive. It must give you opportunities to speak, practice. Explain. And so I think it won't be so long. Only you need to find out the time to read the pages, decide on which pages, and prepare that. And also portfolio will be pushed 1 week ahead so that you're not running by the end of November. Okay, so today, again, we will just go quickly over this exposition summary. If you have anything to share, we have the 3 theories and one area of the development of language. Then listening skills, there is something I needed to finish about that. And again, we will revise a little bit of development of vocabulary development and word formation, which is very useful for you to pay attention to tests whenever you're doing a test and you need to know a word, or you're reading quickly and you need to know a word about a word quickly. Okay, so the oral presentation, who would like to share about which theories have you chosen, or any of these areas of development of language? You're welcome. Here are our agreements. Let me know if there is something you still need to ask about this. You have done videos like this, so I am sure you know about the technical issues, but anyway, and you have time to practice. So you have this week. Remember that by Thursday, Friday, I have more time to give you feedback. But any moment, I mean, the sooner you finish with this, the better. I explained to you that it's short. The reading is really short. Here in nativist theories, because there is a chart with a summary of the different theories, that's why it seems longer, but it's not longer. And I think they are very self-explanatory theories about different views on how language is developed. So some theories think there is a learning theory, that a language is learned as any other behavior. Then there is a nativist theory, that there is a language acquisition device that helps us learn language. And of course, the interactionist views, which are more constructivist views, in which language is developed thanks to interaction with others. And as we said, the different elements of language, we need to pay attention to how we put language together, syntax and grammar, the meaning, how we learn to offer meaning through that language, and how we use it in communication, in effective communication, that is pragmatics. And we did some exercises with that last week to practice for the exam. Remember, we will be focusing on part of the class in those exercises, so I needed to always be ready to participate in order to develop this, because it's a good way to continue progressing. So any one of you have decided on any of these, and you have this reading done? Which group has any advance to share? Any of the pairs or groups has the reading? Do you want to comment anything? Do you have any questions about how to organize the presentation?
I have a question.
Okay, Veronica.
Because I thought that we had to like select 5 main points of the reading, but I am seeing here that we have to choose one of the theories of language development and one of the other. So
yes, the development of language. Yes, but 5 points within that learning theory.
Oh.
Yeah. So for example,
only from the theory. Only from the theory we have to choose 5 main points.
Yes, and here if you find what is the most important, you know how to summarize. I'm not sure whether you have enough, but for example, in semantic development, you have different stages through which children pass by. So you already have in those stages the points, those 5 points. If they are not 5 or they are 4, you just check that. But within the learning theory, for example, there are different theorists, different linguists. So you can refer to the different linguists and to positive and negative points in regards that theory. So in just focusing on the content of the reading, you will see you have 4 or 5 points to mention, for sure.
Yes.
That's for sure. Even if it's short, the readings are short, but you have a lot of information comprised there, especially different views, different linguists within the same theory. And you always have a criticism, something positive or something that has been used, though the learning theory has been discarded or has been, I don't know, other theories have developed more, but there are certain views of the learning theory that are still used. So you talk about that. So there are criticisms, but there is something good that can be done. Okay, so that's it.
The other question is, next week we have to present in class or we have to upload the video?
So upload the video. If you have any 1 or 2 things to say in classes for you to practice, really, the intention is that you practice. Upload the videos next week, yes. And for next Monday, everyone has to have this written down. So you might have something else to say that is interesting, that you want to share, and not just for oral practice. So that would be good if you have something to say. And I will try to give you feedback as much as I can. So I still have four groups, I think, to give feedback by Thursday, Friday. I will be able to do that. And it's not really very long. Okay, so that's one reminder. Anything else you want to ask about this? So by next Monday, when everyone has read, please have something to say. As for example, well, I learned that with this theory, with interactionist or the nativist theory, linguists proposed that blah blah. There was a language acquisition device, for example, and that was something that was also read. We also read at university when we were studying English. And I used to think, this is something personal, that there was something inside my head, some kind of device, some kind of, how can we say, some kind of apparatus, I do not know how to say, through which I was filtering everything, all the language I was hearing at the time or speaking. And it was something that helped me understand the language acquisition device, of which you can read there in the theory. And it was something funny because I always thought there was some kind of machine helping me recognize when I was saying something right or wrong. But anyway, that was some kind of imagination of mine when I was young and when I was your age. And just thinking there was some kind of machine there helping me. But in reality, processes are much more complex. But the idea of that there is a device is a good idea in the sense that you program that device with rules and then you produce language. Okay. So that's something interesting to say, or something that you thought or you developed or you found out. Okay, so that's an example. And the next one is the wiki. Valentina and was Constanza or Carolina, I'm not sure. You have that, girls. Participated in the wiki. They almost completed it, but it would be good to have the participation of more of you. We can trace that. Valentina, yes, Valentina Salinas, you're here. And I think it's Valentina Bravo. And I'm not sure whether Carolina or Constanza. And they worked in the wiki, but I will need more of your participation so that then we share the listening strategies with the whole group. And also then you can use them to elaborate activities for students. Remember that listening is an important skill that whether you cannot teach, but the same as reading, you need to teach the best ways to teach strategies so that students are able to listen, focus on messages, and understand what they listen. And of course, it develops a long time. We know. And
Teacher,
yes, Veronica?
I don't understand what is that group wiki.
The group wiki. I will show you in Educandos immediately. It's an exercise that is added to week 9. So it's easy to accomplish. You just have to participate. It's a free participation space. Remember that wiki means that is a group, it's a space on the internet in which you
It's like a social media?
You can write. Pardon?
It's like social media?
No,
something like that.
No, it's a platform on which you can write, and many writers can write
Yes.
and participate at the same time.
Yes, I remember.
That's the wiki. Okay, so this is the wiki in week 9. That means
Um,
you can, here we have Valentina and Carolina who have completed, but anyone can access, you can edit and you can add more of your work. And by the end, you can also write your names. And then there is also a way in which you can see everyone who has participated. I need to check how. It's the first time I use it on Educando.
and the date for the final wiki?
The wiki is open. You can keep on, and then we will have a printable version, yes? So everyone can receive this as a document by
It is
next
for
week.
the
Yeah, because we
for
will
the
have-
practical work.
Yes, so then you will have here the strategies
It's in
that
group,
then you
right?
can use in your activities. Remember that you're preparing activities for children for your
Yes.
plan? Yeah. And so this will be something you can use. Okay, and you can access there in Educandos. Yes, Valentina, you wanted to ask another question?
No,
Okay,
no, it's
so
clear.
that's the wiki.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that's the wiki, and even Wikipedia is thought to be sometimes reliable, sometimes not, because people can access there and just edit the content, and so you have it's a kind of platform that is participative. Yeah, you can participate there. Okay, that as regards Educandus, let us always keep updated with that. And there's another activity that was left behind at some point. And then since listening is something you can be doing constantly, you can download or open this site on your computer or on the phone and listen to different short conversations or some presentations also on different topics. That can help you also develop your listening skill. You can have this, or you can listen as much as you can. I'm trying to give you selected videos, but you can keep on looking for more videos on vocabulary development, so to continue listening. Listening is a practice that we cannot stop doing. Every morning I listen to a kind of therapist. Yeah, she's a therapist with positive messages, so to start the week in a positive way. And she's a British English speaker, and she's very, very interesting to listen to. And so just to keep on listening. There are other speakers you can listen to, you can follow on the internet. You just free to find. But everything that can help you and listen to English is welcome. Okay, so in Unit 3, we are at this point of formulating oral and written discourse, and we are in a way learning and formulating discourse as you're preparing the oral exposition, but also a little bit of writing involved in that, and also because you're doing some other reflective work on vocabulary. And there comes the last task was based on development of vocabulary, and this is a good introduction. It's not a very long text by these linguists who have categorized the words into 3 groups. And this is useful to know just because as future teachers, as learners, but also as future teachers, you need to think how you can teach these different kinds of words. And there is a long, I suggested you to read a long article in the New York Times where this teacher who teaches English learners in the United States focuses a lot on tier 2 words, because he says they are general academic words that are found in all across the curriculum. And so teachers in the United States have this challenge to teach English, yes, to English speakers to continue developing their vocabulary, and also to English learners. And so they concentrate a lot on tier 2 group of words because they're present in academic work, in readings that have to do with school and academia in general. And they will be used across the curriculum in every subject at school or also in college. So they need to develop this a lot. While basic words in tier 1 are everyday life words that you need probably to focus more when you are teaching elementary school. And we saw this in your activities from last semester, remember? And tier 3, they are specific content words that are the ones you read, for example, in the readings for your speaking, when you talk about innovative theory, constructivist theory, and they're very specific of your area. Of course, in college, you learn this just because of reading and because you need to use them, to read, you listen to them. And so they are more specific to college. But in general, in schools, you need to develop these two groups whenever you're thinking as future teachers. That's why the relationship, the organization of these groups. So have you read have you had time to read the last task? And do you have any questions about that task? You have a video, you have a long article, but that article has lots of different links, which are very interesting. Take some time, it's not difficult to read. The teacher there is very practical and gives you lots of ideas on how to develop certain activities to help your students develop vocabulary. So it's a long, long article, but it's interesting to read. Plus you have lots of links that take you to other sites, to activities he has developed, to worksheets he has developed with his students. So did you have time to see it, to read it? Anyway, this is a task you will need for your portfolio. So we can go section by section. So discuss the role of vocabulary building in language learning and in reading. Why do you think vocabulary is so important? General thoughts. Any general thoughts? Why do you need to develop language, vocabulary, sorry? As learners, as future teachers? Just one idea? Vocabulary building is important because you can write it as well if you don't want, if you cannot speak. Why? One idea, just as an example of how you're going to answer your own task. It's very good. There's no space. It's important to something basic. Why do you need to develop vocabulary? One verb. To understand, for example. To understand. Topics, different school, work, etc. So you need to build up your vocabulary every day in order to be able to work at school and in different levels. But for sure, you already know some strategies apart from the ones you can read there in this article. Which strategies were you using already? Because you have been reading long texts, academic texts, which very basic strategy you use to learn, to remember those words, to understand them first. One learning strategy to learn vocabulary. One example. One learning strategy.
Teacher, I send you a message.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay. Sorry. You have to tell me because I thought I was going. Okay, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So I was speaking about the 3 tiers that it's here, the words that you need to concentrate on, the different levels of schooling. And then I was thinking here, discuss the role of vocabulary building in language learning and reading. Vocabulary building is important to understand topics, to do.
Vocabulary is so important for when we speak, for the communication.
For communication, exactly. Important for communication. For communication, to speak to others, yes, to others about different topics.
Or we know more about the grammar when we learn a new vocabulary.
Vocabulary, yes, to learn about specific areas of language. To learn.
Yes.
To learn,
yes.
Exactly. To use vocabulary in order to learn.
Vocabulary, yes.
Exactly, different areas of knowledge. So that gives you access to different activities you need in order to learn and communicate. And that is something we need to keep building along our everyday life. And one strategy that you have been using, probably it could be something you do just to focus on that word and learn it, for example. Just one strategy, even if it is not in books.
Listening to music.
One strategy is to learn to listen to music, to songs.
Yeah. Songs.
Listen to songs.
And
then how do you focus on words? Do you read the lyrics? Do you look up?
Yeah, when you read in a video, maybe a song.
And read the lyrics.
Yes.
Sometimes you find words.
Or also reading a book. You learn a lot of vocabulary.
Yes, reading all the books you have been reading, articles. Reading is a great way. But how do you focus on those words that are new to you and you need to remember? Another strategy. So a learning strategy could be, what do you do with the words? For example, can be to check the word in the dictionary, but I found out.
Or maybe in internet.
On the
internet.
Yes. And if you check on the
It's
Google
more
Dictionary,
easy.
yes, it's easier. And the dictionary, the online dictionary, yes. Check the word in
Yeah,
the
the only
yes,
online.
online. And take the on the online, sorry, the preposition. And if you check Google Dictionary, the Google Dictionary gives you lots of information about the word. And just because I
And
love
also
words,
give, yeah, and
you
also
learn
give
a
a lot
lot.
of description.
Yes,
I don't know.
exactly. Descriptions of the word. Where does the word come
Yeah.
from? If it is Anglo-Saxon origin, if it is of Latin origin. And I love that. And that can also be a way in which you remember words. Excellent. So the online dictionary, yes, check descriptions of the words. Descriptions. I was checking one of the word. Descriptions of the word, the uses, yes, of the word. And so you can have different, lots of information online about that word. And if you, whenever you read that long article, because you have to choose one, you can see that the writer offers you lots of, let me check here, lots of evaluation, for example, lots of worksheets with which he has worked with his students to develop vocabulary. And he works in probably in high school. And for example, this is one of his worksheets. Can you see? So in this
Yes.
worksheet, you have um, the word, the definition in English. You can also check a definition in Spanish, then draw a picture, especially with young learners, write a sentence, and so on and so forth. You develop sheets with vocabulary information that students in school can develop. And so this is a way.
And this is a way, not another word.
No, this is a strategy.
Okay.
Strategy he uses to learn, for his students to learn the words.
Well.
And then whenever you read that article, you will see that the New York Times has a competition. Let me check if I have it. It has a competition every year in which students prepare a video explaining different words. And so they use their creativity there. So that's another way in which this teacher also helps his students develop their understanding of the words. So this is the New York Times article. And for example, this is a video in which students explain the word dexterous. Dexterous is a
Like phonetics?
Pardon?
In phonetic?
Yes, the phonetic is
Phonetic?
dexterous. Yes, that's the pronunciation. Then it is an adjective, and this is the meaning: skillful in physical movements, especially of the hands. And if you play the video, you can see how the students have shown in a video, in a short video, the meaning of the word. And then they participate in a kind of how is this? A kind of competence, un concurso in the United States with other students from generally middle or high school. And there are some winner videos. So this is a good opportunity also for students to do this every day or every week, probably, in schools, just showing the words they have been learning in a creative way. And so this is a word, a tier 2 word, dexterous, since it's not everyday life word, probably it's not academic either, but it's a level of academic word that will appear in in school texts. High school.
Are you going to show the video?
Okay, let me check if probably it's not very long. Let me check if you can hear, remember? Can you hear?
We hear
Or
you.
maybe send the link.
Yes, the link is in the text, in the task.
Yes, in share.
And there you can find the complete. Can you hear or not?
No, I see, but
You see. So it's different.
You have to share the audio.
The audio.
yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to check that. Yes, you taught me how to do it. Here it is. Yes. So in the long, in that long article, that is the link is in the task. You're going to
Okay.
find all of this. So you have many links, very interesting ones. So I really recommend you to read it. It's a little bit long, but it's very interesting. All of the materials that the teacher provides.
Dexterous.
Okay, so that's the video. It's a short one, very short one.
It's
Just
short.
yes, but that's the way. That's the only thing they need in order to participate in this this competence. And for the New York Times, and they can earn a prize. But and it can be done also in school classes, just as a way of in a creative way in which students can show and learn new vocabulary. So you already have your own learning strategies. Check that long article and you will have lots of others, and also websites in which you can see the relationship existing between words and how you can develop from one word a group of other words that are related and that can enlarge your vocabulary. I will show you how. So and then the researchers also, whenever you read this other article, you will see, or also in this article, in which he also mentions researchers, how is the best way in which a vocabulary can be learned. And there are different paths, but I think that most of them include those. So pointing out to the word, looking for the meaning, but trying to relate it to students' lives, help them to do something creative, use the word in different contexts. So in general, you can have those answers. So this is a listening. I recommend you to do it, just to listen to English and focus on different topics. This is a way in which you also develop your listening skills. So here you have the use of general academic words, which are tier 2, these general academic words. A short explanation about discipline-specific words, which are the tier 3, yes, specific related to different areas of knowledge. And nominalization, which is a way of developing, so changing one of words from one category into another in order to sound more academic. But I need you to do this listening in order to discuss. But with the activity we're going to do in a minute, you will see how this is possible. So this is the New York Times article link. And there you have lots of activities. So you can read about them and which will you use in order to increase your knowledge of academic vocabulary. And which do you think you can adapt and use with English learners in this area? So that's why I tell you to revise the whole article and check all the links in order to get your answers to these questions. One more thing I wanted to show you from that article, which I thought was very interesting, was the way in which there are certain websites that help you. Okay, this is one. Relate words and show in a visual way how words are related among them. And this is a great thing to show students and also for you. So this is the link, all the links that the word education has. Okay, so education, instruction, teaching, pedagogy is joined to many other concepts around it. And they all help you think of words and concepts related to education. So for example, it is, for example, you check the color of the links. So here, it's a kind of. So higher education is a kind of education. Just to show you one. Elementary education is a kind of education. You see, you have here the color and the shape of the link. But this is a domain, yes, a topic domain. For example, education, Department of Education is a domain of education, a point in the system, and that's the relationship just because of the link you have. Also, you have nouns, verbs, and education is a noun, but it relates to verbs. For example, the verb teach, the verb learn, the verb instruct. So those are verbs related to education, which is a noun. So I thought this was a great picture on how words are related and how you can, from one word, look for a variety of relationships to learn more words. And that is just by just writing education. Yes, you write education, you click go, and it shows you. Can you see? Can you see?
Yes.
Girls? Okay, so you just write a word, and I thought it was wonderful to show you. And you can see all the relationships. Okay. So it's a great way whenever you're writing on a topic, whenever you're preparing on a topic, think, for example, I didn't find this kind of websites when I was writing my dissertation, but I would have needed it because I started writing and repeating the same words and the same concepts. So what I did was to write on a paper and stick the paper in front of me. But now with this website, it would have been easier for me to find all of the relationships and the concepts related to my topic. Okay. So you can look up for any other word. Okay, can you see? All right. So you can look up any other word. This is the website is called Snappy Words. Is in one of the links in that article. So I really recommend you to read it. And you can find, just tell me any other school, for example. I think I was looking up this word the other day. And there you will have school and all the connections to school. Okay. So you have all the kinds of schools. So you have direct grant school, religious school, dancing school, graduate school. All of the ways in which the word school is used. An adjective of school is scholastic. So it's referred to school. Okay. All right. School can also be a verb, to school. Here. Educate. Okay. All right, here you have all the verbs related to school. Educate, school, train, cultivate. Okay, just as a curiosity, it's a website you can use also to develop ideas you need in relation to a topic. And remember, you're finishing your vocabulary building task with a writing activity, thinking of this, how to design activities that will help your students develop vocabulary. And remember, you're not teaching a particular word, but helping them develop strategies to learn words. And so that's why checking on those worksheets, for example, can be useful. Or any other activity. And here you have some ideas. Okay, any question about the task? So we'll go to something else about words and vocabulary. Is that clear? Or do you need any other questions? Anyone? Girls? Well, okay, so you have there a lot to work on that task so that you can develop all of the activities, follow-up activities. Okay, this is another way in which we can analyze words, and this is important for you to pay attention and just listen to very short explanation on different concepts, so that we start also thinking, how can we do that in that website we just saw? You have the connection of words, but here we will see how you can do this by hand, changing from one word to the other by adding prefixes or suffixes. And by understanding this, you can understand many more words in every kind of reading. I'm just thinking that sometimes you're pressed about time because you're in a test situation, for example, and you're pressed by time and you don't have time to develop or to display different kinds of fancy websites. You depend on your own to try to understand words. And that's what I'm trying to concentrate today. And then a little bit also for practice for the test. Okay, so we're going to watch this video, which is very short, and I need you to pay attention to prefix, suffix, and base word. I'm sure you know this from Spanish. Do you know what a prefix is in Spanish? You might need, the word is very similar to Spanish, and I'm sure you know them. You have seen them in language, in Spanish. A suffix and a base word or a root word.
Prefijo, sufijo.
Yes, exactly. Prefijo, sufijo y la palabra base o la raíz. Root is also called. Base words or roots. Yeah, exactly. The same as Spanish. And they help us a lot to understand words. And that can change from a base of very few words into many, many words. So this is one of the many videos you can find on internet, but trying to just for it to be short, give you quick concepts and some prefixes and suffixes. We're going to learn later, focus on suffixes. Okay, but this is
prefix, suffix, and base words. What are prefixes and suffixes?
Okay.
Well,
okay. Sorry. I'm not sure. Can you listen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So it's checked there. I need to check. Okay, prefixes, suffixes, and base words. Okay.
prefix, suffix, and base words. What are prefixes and suffixes? Well, the prefix goes in the front of a word and a suffix goes behind a word. And they're little attachments that change a word's meaning.
Okay. So, okay. So the prefix is called like that because it goes attachments, she says, so it can be morphemes as well. They can be called morphemes or attachments. So a prefix is an attachment that go where in the word? A prefix goes prefix. What does prefix mean?
It goes before.
Before, excellent. So in front or before, exactly. That is the prefix pre, yeah? That go in front, before, so in front of the word, yes. In front of the word. And I think I have to change this because we will be confused. Okay, these two I'm going to check out. Okay, so that is the prefix. Then the suffix. So suff is a prefix also that means that something goes where in the word. Where does the attachment go? The suffix.
After the base word.
So the suffix, where does the suffix go? Suff, this prefix means it goes, it can also be sub, go below or behind a word. So after the word finishes. Okay, so the suffix is an attachment that goes behind. Attachments that go behind the word. And the root or the base is, or stem, can also be called a stem, also in biology, you know, la raíz o la base, okay?
Attachments that change a word's meaning. In the word intrinsic, the prefix is in, the stem is trin, because that's not really a real word, and suffix is sic.
Okay, so the base can be a word or cannot be a word, but it doesn't have any attachment. So for example, the word happy is a better example. So happy is a base word, so it's a word without any attachment. It's the root of the word, without attachments, to which I can add prefixes and suffixes. Let us think of the word happy. So this is a base word in the sense that it doesn't have any attachments. It is an adjective, yes, and I can have prefixes, so some attachments in the front of the word that will help me change the word happy for something different. So for example, if I think of the prefix an, what am I doing with the word happy? So this is a prefix. What am I doing with the word happy? Prefix. I am changing the meaning to from happy to unhappy. What am I doing? Girl, can you hear me? Can you see what I'm doing? If I have the base word happy, but I place an in front of happy, and this is a prefix, what am I doing with the word happy? I am changing the
meaning?
The meaning to the opposite, from happy to unhappy. Yes, and just by adding this morpheme, that is a negative morpheme, there are others. We're going to see now some of other kinds of prefixes. In order to change the meaning of the word. Excellent. But if I add a suffix, there are different kinds of suffixes, but this suffix will not change the word class, yes, but it will add, for example, a comparative. Yes, here, for example, in the case of, if I add the suffix er and change the y into an I am changing suffix. I am changing the word happy into a comparative, the adjective happy into the comparative happier, which is a comparative meaning más feliz. Yes. So I am changing. So by using prefixes or suffixes, I am changing the word happy into another variation of the word and changing the meaning a little bit. So instead of saying I am happy, I am using I am happier than before and changing that meaning. So there are many prefixes and suffixes that can be added to root words, and there are different meanings. And I am adding certain websites on which you can find this. But for example, you have prefixes like prefixes. For example, pre meaning, what does pre mean? Pre, for example, prehistory, prefix, prepare, what is pre? Something you do in time, before or after? What does pre mean? Before or after? It means before. Okay, do you understand, girls? Girls, can you listen or can you see what I'm doing? Hello? If you cannot listen or see, please tell me. Okay, so pre is before. And in this case, an means unhappy, uncomfortable, and some of the ones you know, but you might know others. And means yes or no. It's the same as saying none. So not or not, yes. Not or none, happy, not comfortable, yes. There are others that also mean no. Suffixes, on the other hand, some of them are the ones you have just seen, the comparatives, the superlatives. But for example, you have suffixes, like for example, you have the verb teach and the noun teacher. If I add er, what am I saying? It's a person who does something, the teacher or the actor or for example. Just to give you some examples, and you will find more in the video. Person who does something. Okay, and we will see. This is a very short video, as I said, of the many you can find. And you can have many other examples also in the websites I am recommending you to.
Is in, the stem is trin, because that's not really a real word, and suffix is sick. Prefixes and suffixes have meanings. The prefix un means not, and pre means before, like in prefix. Full is a suffix, and it means full of. Et is also a suffix, and it means small, diminutive, and they would go behind a word. Well, there are literally hundreds of prefixes and suffixes that you can add to words, and here's just a handful of them. So we've got prefixes like un, re, ear, sub, post, tri, pre, semi, dis, and ex, and all of their meanings can change the meaning of a base word. Here's some suffixes: shun, li, ed, ist, en, ism, ment, ness, full, fi, and ifi. So depending on which of these prefixes or suffixes are in front and in back of a base word is how the word's going to change. You take the root word, the base word appear, and we put dis in front of it, and we have disappear. And we've changed it from something that appears and is there to something that is not, because dis is a negative. It means not. Rewrite, re means again, so that means we're going to write it again. Tri is a prefix meaning three, so that's three angles. We go from responsible to irresponsible. Notice how the E is taken off of response when the ible is added. We have lead, we have misleading. Argue, there should have been an E there if it was a regular base word, but when meant was attached, the E was dropped. We have argue, meant. It's a condition of arguing. Justify, we make her become just. Unknowing, if you know something and you put un in front of it, now it's unknow. That means you don't know. We have the word conform, and you put non in front of it, and it means not conforming. You put ist at the end of it, and that is a person that is not conforming. Irregularly, something was regular, we put ir, which is a negative meaning not, and we've got it's not regular.
Okay, so you have some examples, just random examples, of the many words you can form by adding prefixes or suffixes. And meaning not, you have many. You have an, you have ir, regular, irregular. Yes, another one that means not is this. For example, appear, disappear. Okay, so all of this, and there is an exhaustive list in the following websites, in the following slide. So you can find all of the prefixes and their meanings, and as well as suffixes. Now I wanted to pay attention a little bit more on suffixes, because here in this slide, I was saying, you will find lots of a longer video and lots of exercises and explanations on the structure of words from different universities that can also help you focus on these attachments and how they can help us increase our vocabulary. Just by learning a few of them, we can produce lots of new words and understand when we are reading. Moreover, when we are reading quickly and we don't have time to look up in the dictionary. Okay. So suffixes can change the meaning, as we said here, as in the same as in the sense of happy, though it's not a complete different meaning, but it's a slightly different meaning. But also, suffixes can change the grammatical function of a word. And that is something we need to focus a lot, because we can do a lot of exercises quickly once we understand this. So we will see some examples here, and I needed to pay attention to the video, and then we will do the chart here so that we see how we can change from one word class, one function of a word, for example, in the case of verbs, into other kinds and into other word classes. Yes, change the grammatical function. And this is what we will see here, and then we will do an exercise online to see your ability to recognize how to change words, yes, from one class to the other. Okay, so it's a challenge for you. Okay.
Hello, today I have new word to make.
Okay, can you hear? Can you hear, girls? Can you hear? Okay. Yes. Okay, Carolina, thank you. All right.
Rules for you, and you're going to learn how to make new words from other words. And we have the suffixes ANC, ENC, meant, ANT, ENT, LY or Lee. This is a usual shop. I usually go to this shop.
Okay. So what is he doing here?
It's easy to make adverbs from adjectives with the help of the suffix ly or ly.
Yes. So he's changing an adjective into an adverb, which is another function, another grammatical function, while adjectives modify a noun, adverbs modify a verb. So what we are going to find is this. So we have the verb use. If we add the suffix al, we change the verb into an adjective, usual. Yes, usual, practical. You have several adjectives that you can add, form by adding al, and then change these words into an adverb by adding ly. So usual becomes usually. In the case of practical, it changes into practically. Yes, and this usually, I usually go to the shop means this verb is modifying the verb. The adverb is modifying the verb go, and that means how often do you go to the shop? All right, so we'll go back to the video to see another example. Okay.
Basically, adverbs answer the question how much or how often. For example, I usually go to the shop. How often? Usually. Usually is an adverb. Let's look at some adjectives and their corresponding adverbs. Usual, usually. Slow, slowly. Easy, easily. However, there are some exceptions, and some adverbs do not take the suffix ly. For example, good, and the adverb is well. For example, I can speak English well, but you can say, I'm a good English speaker. Adjective fast, and the adverb has the same form, fast. For example, my car is very fast. In this case, fast is an adjective. But I usually drive very fast. How do you usually drive? Very fast. In this case, fast is an adverb. Hard, and the adverb is also hard. For example, this is a hard job. Or I don't like to work hard. And the adjective late, and the adverb is also late. More examples of such irregular adverbs. Repeat after me. She works really hard. They always come late. You mustn't drive fast. Look at this photo. These are twins, and they are not much different. Or you can say, there is little difference between them. This girl knows a lot. She can assist you. Or you can say she's an assistant. We make nouns with the help of suffixes anc, enc, and the suffix ment. Let's look at the verbs.
Okay, so here we have how we change verbs into nouns, and we're going to see in our chart how this can be useful. How can we do this? So we have the verb differ, and then he speaks about how we change it into an adjective, different, and into a noun, difference. So now, how can you do with the verb assist? And we have just seen it, but now we're going to do it alone. So assist, which is the noun for assist. And you know this, it's the same, but we add the suffix, assist. So we have ans or ens or ment. Which do you think it is? Assistance, assistance, or assistment? Which is the word? Assist. You know this word is very similar to Spanish. Assist. Assistance. Yes, assistance. And the adjective is assistance. So we add another 4 words. Difficult to write because it's a copy one. So it's ans, and the adjective is
Assistant.
assistant. Yes, exactly, assistant. So in this way, we used to do this in primary school, remember, when we did this in putting together the family of words. So we knew which the verb, the noun, the adjective were. Assistant, assistant. Yes, that's an adjective. And in that way, we could form lots of verbs, lots of family of words in which with which we could learn new words. The same as this algorithm does in the website that takes you from one word to many words related and to family of words. So develop is easy. Develop is the verb, which is the noun for develop. You have 3 suffixes, ans, ens, or ment, which is the noun for develop. Oh, sorry. Develop. It's difficult to write here. Develop. Develop. So
Development.
Development, yes, development. And sometimes we don't have development, yes. We don't have a adjective, yes. Development is the, or we have an adjective that is formed with another suffix, but we're not going to confuse more things now. Tolerate. Tolerate has, we have the subject, the noun, and the adjective. Tolerate. We have we have ans, ens, and ment. You have heard this word, tolerant.
Tolerance.
Tolerance, excellent. Tolerance and a person
Tolerant.
Tolerant, yes. And depend, we will do an exercise now online, and we will see our results online now, immediately. So bear with me. So tolerant, and the adjective is tolerant, yes. And depend, the same, ans, ens, ment.
Dependence.
Dependence, yes, dependence. dependence, sorry, dependence and dependent. Okay, so this is easy and you can continue doing this with lists of words. You need to read the dependent. You need to read the websites I have, and I will give you more for next classes to practice. But here you have lots of work and practice. But now we're going to do, I'm going to close this. We are going to do the work and the other presentation. So we'll remember I have another presentation for the test. We will do more next week, more exercises, but I need you to focus on these gap texts, because you will be checking here how you can focus on different words at different levels. But we will do this one now so that we can see the results online now. Okay. You will see this can be done online, and it is a similar kind of exercise in which we will be checking your knowledge of words and how can you change from one word to the other and with different grammatical positions or functions. Okay, so second language learning. There has been, and so we write the word here and we just check the answers. So it's immediate checking. And then you can practice more at your ease. You have a lot of exercises here. So there has been much debate in recent times about when young people should take up a second language. This has been especially fueled in recent times by the increasing, and we have the adjective, yes, important, but which is the noun? According to just the exercise we have just done with a suffix, which is we don't need the adjective, we need a noun. Which will be the noun for important?
Importance.
Import, we have just done import. Remember, we have ans, ends, and meant.
Importance.
Importance. Excellent. Excellent. And this is a website. So this is an advanced level of English. So the more you practice with these exercises, the more, and the suffixes, the more you will be able to do this immediately. Yes? Okay. Placed, importance placed on the English language. So this is a discussion that is important because there is more importance given to English. It is now commonplace to see parents providing a substantial amount of funding. Is all right, but we have another noun that is that means money, but using the same base here, the same base word. So an important amount of is the synonym of money. But you use the same base word, the amount of funds, yes, money, on additional tuition, on language lessons to give their children every edge. Competition is a noun, yes? Competition. Shown is a suffix. So this part is a suffix. We didn't see it today, but this is a suffix. So we need to...
Competition?
Competition is a noun, so but we need an adjective.
Computational.
Not al. Competent. Yes? Competent. So competent age. So you're competent. That's the adjective whenever you know how to do something. So you will be competent in the use of English. Yes, because you will do all of the different exercises and study the different suffixes. So competent is similar to this one, Veronica. 1 minute. Which is the previous one, because I closed it to save the changes. But remember, we have and ent. Do you remember the ending? So you have competent, like assistant, but competent. Do you see the relationship? Here it is. It's this group. Oops. You will be in this group. Look. Oh. Okay, I will show. Okay, it's here, yes? So you have competence, it will be here, competence, and here it will be competent. You see? Do you see the difference? The ones we have seen, we just seen? So it will be competence. Competition is another kind of noun. I know here, sorry. Compete. Here is the verb, compete. The noun will be competence. Competence. And here will be competent. Okay? Okay. All right. Competent. Okay, we go back to our exercise. And we read again to see if we're okay. So it is now, I know, so it's a question of having money, yes, on additional tuition on language lessons to give their children every competent age. In the past decade, language institutes have sprung in numerous centers, all claiming to provide rapid, we need a noun. This is an adjective. Which is the noun? The base is there. So it's a rapid simple advance. Yes, the base. It will be a rapid advance in English. There has been a push in many parents to expose their children to English in their formative years. This many claim will make the language more, here we need another, so this is the noun, we need the adjective, which is a little bit different. We will see, it's another ending. And ensure that all pronunciation errors can be avoided. There is some evidence which points to youngsters who have been raised in bilingual families where the language spoken at home is different to the one that they, conversation is the noun, we need the verb. Which is the verb? Conver. How does it finish? You have the base, it's very similar. Conversation is the noun, and the verb is con, the same as in Spanish, very similar. Conversar in Spanish is what in English?
Conversate?
Converse, yeah, converse with the external environment. But what trial, you're thinking, while these children can switch between two languages with greater, this is then the adjective, we need the noun, and we need an adjective here. Probably we do not know that, you do not know, but is the noun. Here is instinctive, and here is advantageous. But as I say, the more we learn about these different suffixes, the more we will be able to do this exercise. So we will check answers. Okay, competent, that's wrong. Oh, what did I do wrong? I wrote something wrong. Okay, we will reset, see answers. Competitive is here. Well, competent is another one, and competitive. Advancement. Oh, okay, advantageous. Yes, that was okay. I did it yesterday. Okay, but I wrote it wrongly. Okay, so you can continue doing this. Yes, we will do the other families, more families of words, so that you can learn them. And we will continue. So compete, competence, and competent. And then we'll have another one that is competition. Okay, it's another word here. It's another, okay, we will do it here since I don't have space. Competition and competitive, but it's not this ending. Competition and competitive. So we have lots of other possibilities to develop this, but I need you to read more of these websites and watch videos so that we continue building more and more suffixes. Okay, if you check here in my web, in my, wait a minute. If you check here in my browser, I have them open. Okay, I have them open. This is one of the documents. And there you can find all of the meaning for prefixes and suffixes according, well, different kinds of meanings, yes. So you have prefixes, again, together according to certain meanings, and then more suffixes. Shown is the action of alteration, demonstration. Yes, is the person who does something, is the teacher, is the who teaches. The driver is the one who drives. Meant, the one we saw today, development, punishment, employment. Yes, the person who does, assistant, consultant, student. Okay. Here is, these are nouns, yes, again with al. And yes, the result preference. So you have lots of different suffixes that will help you develop lots of new words. Then adjectives, al, as I was explaining, usual, central, practical, professional, and different, dependent, excellent, competent, well, we did that. And you have and, assistant, the person who does something. Then if, competitive, attractive, effective, also as advantageous, continuous, dangerous. So the more you read them, the more you will be able to practice with websites like this one with it. Okay, so we'll go back to our main presentation just to write down some things I need you to check for next class. So please check all of these just to continue practicing with words, just because we will be needing them in doing more exercises. So by the end of this class, what do we need to do that we have talked about so that we can do exercises, read more, understand more what we do in English? What do we need to do? Continue working on what do we need to work on? Vocabulary? Girls? We need to continue working on vocabulary building. Do we need to continue working on vocabulary?
Yes.
Yes, vocabulary every day. So, but what we will do for next class, I need you to finish uploading your oral exposition outline, please. Yes. For feedback. Then you will have some, as I said, something very short. Yes, discuss some very short elements from that presentation, or some impression you have, some idea, yes, to practice oral. Then you will read the OPT test presentation. I will upload the presentation for today with the with close exercises, and I need you to concentrate on them. Yes. No. I am raising something. No. Do all the listening exercises in the PPT in the task, please. So reread the OPT test presentation and analyze and do close texts exercises. The ones the ones I'm going to leave there, and do listening exercises on the task and main PPT presentation. Yes. So you have lots of presentations there that are specific about words, but please do as many listening exercises as you can. Then finish the building vocabulary task. If you have any more questions, you can ask me. Just because you need to be updated with your work on the portfolio. And who would volunteer? We need volunteers to do the presentation of standards 7 and 8. Do you want to write to me, or I would write to you an email and you answer the ones that are interested? Yes? For presenting. Is that clear? Standards 7 and 8. Okay, girls, is that clear? I will write, pay attention to my email so I can communicate with the majority of you. Okay, do you need to ask me anything about this? Is there any question? Do the listening exercises and okay. Revise websites on word formation. In the main PPT presentation. So the more you check there, the more presentation, the more you will remember how to put words together and do exercises like the one we did, or we will do others. The other closes are a little bit different on different topics, but they are all helpful to enlarge vocabulary. Okay, do you have any question? So I'm going to upload this and send you emails because of your the need of because of your possibility to volunteer. Okay. Do you need anything else? Do you need to ask anything else, or is that okay? Everyone, are you okay? Girls?
Yes.
Okay, so if there is any, not any other question, it's okay for today. We finish. Please pay attention to